Hello guys, we're ready finally to get started here. It's a Sunday evening, starting way later than I wanted to today, but I had family obligations. There was no way around it. So I at least hope to play a short session today to keep our streak of, I guess this is day 22, 22 days going. So we're going to open up some cash games here, so we'll just take a look and see what's available in the lobby. We got a couple right here off the bat we can jump on. This out of the way. Hopefully we'll nab a seat on both these tables. Open up our hold'em indicator and we should be off to the races here. Just get this out of the way. And let's see if we can get a couple more. Game should be good. Sunday night, right? Early Sunday night. Should be plenty of people grinding during football or whatever. So we'll see what's going on today. We're $18 from moving up to 25 and L. It's kind of exciting to get there this quick. Assuming we don't have like a $40 downswing now, which is of course it's possible. It's within the realm of possibility. It's not out of the realm of possibility to drop back down to 5 and L. It's highly unlikely though. I do have a large number of buy-ins now, over 40 for the stake I'm playing, and I feel comfortable pretty much at any stake with 25 to 30 buy-ins. So yeah, we'll take our 25 NL shot at $150 and we'll have 20 buy-ins to start with, and hopefully we run like we've been running and keep on running up our bankroll. Don't see any more games available right this second, but I'm sure a couple more will pop up here shortly. Get a little music going. Looks like we're two-tabling. Or at least a bit. Kind of surprising not to find a couple more tables this quick on a Sunday evening, early evening. This is like prime time for people to be playing, you know, tournaments. And sorry, I got like allergies or something tonight, so my nose is itchy. So I'm actually pretty lucky right now, knock on wood. My kids have been sick. One had strep throat, one had an ear infection, one's got a bad cold. My wife's got something now. My neighbor's got something. Everybody's on antibiotics. Neighbors across the street were both sick. They're sick. Their neighbors were sick. I swear, the whole neighborhood's sick right now. And so far, I have avoided it. So hopefully that continues. And you know, I don't get unlucky, because getting sick now or in the next few days would really suck. I don't like being sick on Christmas. One of the worst flu viruses I ever had in my life was on Christmas. I think it was back in 2000, I'm not sure, late 2008, 9, 10, somewhere in that range. And man, it was bad. I had 105 or something temperature. I had to go to the clinic on Christmas Day. Yeah, that was not fun. It may have been Christmas Eve, but I don't remember much else besides that. I'm going to ship it, obviously, on the top right here, as we do get one more table up. Let's get this off to a good start here and get called by like 7s here. That would be nice, but we'll take a flip, or we'll take a fold, whichever. Whatever's adding to our bottom line, we will take it. But I did get my flu shot this year. Not that that's 100% guaranteed, but I think an ISO here is good, rather than a ship, just in case he's trapping here. We're getting a pretty good price here, however we do have a player to our left that is not too loose, so if we knew this guy was probably calling, we could call, but we're just going to fold otherwise. We get obviously a great flop because sometimes he will be limping weak aces, jack X type hands, so we expect to pretty often get some value out of this flop. I can't imagine what he would be limp raising that doesn't include a piece of this board. Wouldn't he be raising most of his pairs? I don't know. We'll just bet. We don't have to bet big. About 30 cents, I think. About 10% of our stack, I think, is a good bet here. It's small enough to induce sometimes, and it's big enough to get value from worse hands. Yeah, if he has king, queen, or a flush here, yeah, I think we have to bet. I think we have to bet just get it in. We're going to bet pretty smallish though, just in case he calls with a backdoor flush draw and then it gets there and we can somehow give up on this river. Seems kind of gross, but yeah, if he does this, I mean, if he's got a flush or king queen, we've got outs. I think he could do this with ace 10 or ace jack. It's just going to suck if he has a better hand, but it's a cooler. We're not going to fold our set though. And he just has an ace with no outs, so that's a good result. Not a big fan of the way he played his hand. I guess he realized on the turn that he was just kind of committed. He couldn't call, he couldn't fold. So I think what he did is just basically protect against backdoor flush draws. So I can't blame him. What I can blame him for is limping ace 8 and then calling a 4x raise, blind versus blind, and then just stacking off when he hits a weak ace. And now he's talking trash. And yeah, so that's fine. So we can expect this player is really a weak player. We get an excellent flop on the bottom left. There is no wrong way to play this hand. I think just betting pretty big here and just trying to get it in is good. Betting 60 here gives us a couple options. We can overbet shove the turn. Unlike a blank that doesn't improve us, we want to go ahead and have fold equity with our flush draw. In case he'd happen to have something slow played like 10, it's not likely he'll get off of it, but we could get him off certainly a lot of hands with equity. But I mean, we just have the board smashed there. There's no version of us ever folding. I think we can do a third and go. This guy limped in the cutoff. I think king queen is an excellent hand to do that with. Flops so well. Flops overs most of the time if it doesn't connect. And flush draws, backdoor flush draws. And certainly if he's trapping here, it's just a cooler. We have a robust hand. We get led into and we have a gut shot. I think there's a lot of opportunities here on the turn and river if we just call. It's going to look really strong that we've called. And I actually like to call again here and then probably raise any river. Just going to look super strong. I think we could just bet pretty big here. He should fold all of his draws that are beating us. And maybe even something like, I don't know, pocket fives or something. I'm going to bet with my ace high. And I think I'll just flat with my ace king suited. And I'll 4-bet shove. If somebody 3-bets, I'll back raise. And just go ahead and get 60 big blinds in, it's fine. We'll just play a multi-way pot with ace king suited with a pretty good SPR for our hand. We have an SPR of about 5 now. So yeah, we're just going to fold now, it's fine. We certainly could 3-bet that pre-flop. But I think there's a lot of value in calling with fish, potential fish behind you. We also would avoid getting him to fold some of his hands that we dominate, like ace queen, ace jack. So I think it's good to mix it up there sometimes, especially after you've doubled up. I think it's good. I mean, you do just have a drawing hand, so we don't really want to just ship it there for 60 big blinds and get it in versus 5s, for example. And I don't think he calls it off that often with ace jack, maybe not even ace queen. So usually when he calls there, it's just going to be we're behind. And it's a little, what's the word? Risky? Little, yeah. Certainly not saying it's not plus EV, but You're giving somebody a chance to pick up, like, if somebody does happen to have kings or queens, like, if a complete nit had 4-bet there, and then this guy had shipped, I guess we can get away from our ace king, right?
Hey Spotifyers, click or tap the banner to listen to acoustic
I may be getting back on the same table because I'm pretty bad about that. Not remembering what seat I'm on or what table. Yeah.
Love, Nordstrom.
Not a big deal, just an annoyance. Man, tons of games, but none are 10-0. Except for this 31 VPIP table. But, yeah, it's taken. So many games. But no 10-0. Very strange. There's a 30 VPIP table. We'll certainly sit at it. All it takes is one fish on a table to make it a worthwhile seat. So don't discount completely the lower VPIP tables. It's okay just to wait one revolution, see if it's any good or not, and then bail if it's not. Okay. We're off to a reasonably good start here. Hopefully it continues. And we can pwn. So my team is playing tonight. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They play at Dallas, if you don't know. It's, maybe their toughest game. They've had some. Oh, was that the table I was just on? They've had some tough games. They've won 5 straight over some pretty tough competition. Dallas might actually be an easier game than the Seattle game, the Kansas City game. Dallas is struggling lately. It might be a good time for the Bucs to play them. They're having trouble scoring points. That's a really, really bad thing to have if you're going to play the Bucs right now, because their defense is just awesome at the moment. If you want to see one hell of a game, it's probably going to be good tonight. Definitely will be watching. It's actually kind of funny. I'm not really a sports bettor, but I had $20 on my Bet Online account just sitting there. For the last few weeks I've just been betting, basically dividing how many ever games there were playing by my bankroll, and just betting every cent on all the games. And I'm something like 36-14-1 over that stretch. So I've built the bankroll like up to, I think it's over 150 now. Just screwing around, you know, not doing it seriously. I know I'm just running hot. You can't expect to ever have that kind of win rate against the spread, but it is kind of cool though. So I guess if I get like it up to 250, I'll just cash it out. Or maybe cash out 200 and just keep doing it with the 50, you know? It's actually pretty fun, and it's kind of funny the way I'm doing it. I'm notoriously I've bet a few dollars here and there over the years just on games that I was interested in, just so I'd have something else to root for or whatever. I'm talking like $5 here, nothing serious. And I'm really bad at it. Really bad at picking games. So what I did this time is I basically do a slight bit of research, like how people are doing the last few games, how many points they've scored overall, points against, and I just kind of just guess how they're gonna, you know, how I think it's gonna end up. So what I do is I do that for every single game, and then what I do is I bet the opposite. Whatever I've decided, I just bet on the other team. Unless it's the Bucks, and I always pick the Bucks. So, yeah, I'm 36 and 14 doing that. So I'm going to keep doing that, just picking the opposite team, and it's working out for me so far. I'm actually 5 and 5 today so far going into the night game. I'm actually going into the evening games, the 4:30 games. I don't know how I'm doing so far in the later games. So I'm having a pretty bad day. Anyways, I thought that was just funny. Cash it out and buy some cheese with it eventually. Or maybe I'll write a sports betting book called Bet the Opposite to Win or something like that. I don't know. Bet it all on a bad random. Bet this guy's... See, this guy's really tight on his opening range, and this guy's a fish, so I'm actually going to peel with the Jack-8 suited here. Could win a big pot there with the correct floppage. All we get is a couple back doors, so unless it checks through here and we improve, we're done with this hand. This looks like something like just overs when he bets that 30 cents. Looks like he doesn't like this board, so he's betting over. So I could sometimes raise this, but I don't know. I think I would actually this isn't the worst hand to do it. I mean, I could pick up a 9 on the turn. I could turn a spade, you know, that kind of thing. But I am out of position, so I'm just going to fold. Prefer to do things like that, maybe in position if I was on the button. I don't think I'm going to be a play machine against a 43. But that actually wasn't a bad spot to do that. I incredibly repped that board for sure. Uh-oh, it's bath time for the kids. So you may hear some whining, shenanigans in the background. I apologize for it if you do. I'm not going to try muting my mic anymore. That's a fruitless endeavor. I'll just end up doing that all the time. Only if somebody's like screaming at the door or something. You dads out there can empathize with me, I'm sure. I can ship pretty wide here against this player. It's a small sample though, and I only have AC Deucey. Suited. This could be a ship here with my preliminary aggro read on this player, but I'm just going to go ahead and fold this time. Actually, this may be a pretty lousy table, honestly, so I think about abandoning ship there. I knew it was low VPIP when I went to it, so yeah. I'm going to stick it out here. This got a couple smaller than full stacks. There's some potential to this table. This one's got a pretty good dynamic here. This one I just sat at, so I'm not sure. And we get shipped on for 15 cents. Do we call? I don't think we have the option of folding. This can be a somewhat tricky hand to play. I think just betting big and to not induce any shenanigans from him. There's that word again, shenanigans. I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans. I think we won. Yep, we won. It's probably, if I could think of a worse card, that's it. But I still think he could have a hand like fives. Maybe ace high sometimes here. I think betting is better than checking. I can certainly see us getting raised on this turn a lot. I can also see him folding a ton of hands that he might have been floating with. And he may check back a hand like ace high now that it's ran out this confusingly. And he actually had a better 7, so good for him. We get led into on a fairly dry board. No read. I don't give a lot of credit to donk bets. This could certainly be something like 6-7. Maybe we could get him off pocket sixes or something here by this min raise. And certainly that's an awesome turn. If he has deuce 3, good hand, sir. Or ace 5 or ace 10, that would just be a cooler. I think we've just set ourselves up for a perfect turn shove. Maybe we'll get looked at by like king 10 here. And certainly we deny him a good price with the 6-7. Unfortunately, he folds. I mean, I guess we could bet small there as well, but we're kind of just always just giving him a price for the hands that we don't really, that has a ton of equity. We want him to call, so he'll call with the hands that don't have much equity for more money, and he's going to continue with the hands that have a lot of equity. I guess maybe that's a poor way of thinking about it, but we certainly set up the fact that we probably have a strong hand here, there, so we got to continue polarizing on the turn, and I think that's going to get us looked up sometimes. I think betting small there would look really fishy to a player that's paying attention, in case he is a player paying attention. I certainly don't like just calling there on the flop. I think it's either a raise or fold situation.
I don't care if you turn out to be a great athlete or whatever, but you need to make sure you get your college degree. I definitely wanted to quit, and my father said, no, you started this and you're going to finish it. I always kept at it. It's just something that I want to do. I'm happy and proud to be sitting here as a college graduate.
Learn more about Larry's journey to complete his education at phoenix.edu/Larry.
The holidays are here, and your TD Bank Visa debit card can make holiday shopping more convenient than ever. Just use your card to buy gifts, stocking stuffers, snacks while you shop.
Okay, so a little bit of a lull there. I turned the commercials down on Spotify. Can't turn them down too far, else they mute or they pause your your channels. So it's an interesting raise. This guy just lost a pot versus us, so this could be like a tilt type play here. I would be folding here about ace queen offsuit, but ace queen suited, that extra 3% equity, I tend to want to just ship it here. Just because of this small rate I have that he may be on tilt. I mean, that could be completely way off base and him have the nuts here. But looks like we're going to chop it. I wouldn't be surprised to see ace jack there. Pocket fours. King queen, king jack. I always seem to just widen somebody's range whenever they have just lost a big pot. Or not really lost a big pot there, but it was against me and I min raised him and I shoved the turn, so he might be just like have a slight amount of tilt. So yeah. I mean, maybe his range is only like ace queen plus, and then my shove there is probably pretty bad. He asked me why I shoved, feeding the rake. He's the one that fed the rake though, because he rebet. I told him, you are the one that 3-bet. Maybe I can get him on a little more tilt here. That's always a good thing, if you can do that. Definitely don't want to ignore the chat. I've talked about this before. People that chat a lot are generally poorer players. And anytime you can needle somebody, or you don't want to be rude, but just little needling things here and there can be worth your while. And I got a little bit of information from him. He said, and you're the one that 4-bet, so you think somebody would use the word 4-bet, but not necessarily be a weak player. I'm kind of trepidatious about c-betting while we're in the middle of a conversation with him. Yeah, so we'll see. And if he is even weak, he's on my left, so I don't know. Not too thrilled about this seat. I think we have to c-bet this board. It's multi-way, but we do have one of the better boards to c-bet. I think it's going to show a profit. Even 3-way in position. Of course, we're not going to continue to lead. We don't have any equity for our... That's the difference is there's really not much way to improve to a hand that beats an ace very easily. Probably don't want to raise there. I'm not going to open the king 10 because I don't have a read that these players are necessarily bad, so I'll just be a little tight there in the hijack. And we get folded to on our ace king, so we're going to probably think about leaving this table. Anytime you get folded to in the big blind, it's probably not the greatest table, and this one doesn't look great either. I can't believe the games are this bad right now. It's just a small sample of tables, but get off of that one. See if we can improve our table selection here. Or this one. We're definitely shipping here if he opens. Let's play a normal pot versus this guy. You gotta expect we have the best hand here pretty often. Yeah, we still have to keep betting. Pretty funny run out. I still think there's some hands we're beating that'll check back. I don't think we need to turn our hand into a bluff here. I think he's just going to check back all his showdown, but he may even check back the 2-pair here, so I think we just need to check fold this one. It's going to be tough for him to have a hand that doesn't beat us right now. Yeah, this could be thin value with like king 9 or something. We're trying to squeeze something out of his queen because he knows there's not much that can call, and he would expect me to have a lot of 2-pairs here, so if I had 2-pair, I'd probably have to call, I guess, 6-1. That's a good bet size on his part, I think. Assuming he didn't have just like deuce 3, then that's a really excellent bet. If he's going to double float, has the balls and ability to do that, you could just have it. This probably isn't a great table, but I'm going to try anyway. You never know. It's not like I have much other option right now. Got to try all the tables that are out there. Usually when he checks pretty fast, that's usually weakness. I mean, you obviously know people sometimes insta-check like they're nut hands, but what it is when somebody insta-checks, it's polarized. They either check real quick to get, or they just hate their hand and check real quick. And since there's more air in a range in general, yeah, I think I can just ship the king queen here over 2 limpers. This guy's never going to have anything, so either I'm getting trapped by this guy or I'm just winning the pot right now. This guy leads into a king 10-10. I think I just have to min raise, and then basically that's all the money I'm putting in the pot, maybe? Unless I improve? Yeah. Is he ever going to lead a 10 there? So that could be like a gut shot or just like ace high or just thinking I don't have anything. So I mean, I think I min raise like almost my entire range there a lot. Not just because I have a king. But like certainly ace queen, any kind of something like that gut shot myself. Maybe even a pair like 9s or 8s. Because I wouldn't expect him to do that with a king or a 10. Yeah, that's why. So his donk bet is going to be pretty futile against most of my range there from that position. I am leaving this one. Just going to check fold on this board. I could go after the dead money here. I think I will. I have a gut shot, but it's a weak gut shot, so I'm just going to fold. I think this is an obvious check back spot. There's a couple of reasons. One, we can pick up some equity against in case he does have an ace, and two, I think it reps an ace better for us to check back. He wouldn't expect us, and he only has $1.12, so I wouldn't think he would expect us to bet an ace here with his stack so short. So I think we can check back and then rep an ace on the turn. It's going to be difficult if he bets big here. But I think if he checks and we bet, he's just going to fold almost everything. I think I could probably call this and then ship every check he does, and otherwise just give up on the river. I just think there's way too much opportunity here for him to hate his hand now. Just think I have to have an ace to be playing it this way. I think if he ships the river, he's just got a flush or an ace every time. Yeah. If he shows a bluff here, I'd be impressed, because I played that exactly like an ace up until the river. My showdown value is kind of irrelevant there. Guess I just had some read that he was doing that. But then I wouldn't be playing the hand that way if I knew he was doing that light a lot. You certainly could also min raise the flop, but it's kind of gross because I'm putting in like he's like got 30 cents left if I do that on the flop or something like that. I don't know. So it was kind of awkward to do that. So I like my creative line there. Pretty much the only time he's going to win that hand is when he actually has an ace, unless he just heroes or something, or just sucks, which is possible. Definitely think we can label this player as a fish. It's kind of iffy on the call here. We are getting a huge price, so I think we're getting the right price just to flop something big. And we are playing this player, so we're pretty much even stacked. It's kind of a trappy looking bet right here against two short stacks, so I'm very wary about this check. So I am, even if I turn like a flush draw, I'm probably done with his hand. Don't know that he would do this twice though. So maybe he has just like ace queen, or maybe he has like pocket 8s, 9s, 10s. That would make a lot of sense. Maybe pocket queens even, which he would certainly check call if he had pocket queens. And probably call the river as well as this hand played out, which I think is reasonable. I would put this guy on like some kind of mid pair to high pair. I could pot it here, but I don't think he's going to fold queens. I think he would expect somebody to lead with a jack. Wow, maybe he just disconnected. That's really weird. I don't know what that was. But doesn't if he disconnected, he'll stay on the table at least till the end of the hand? Maybe he just had a completely hopeless hand and left. I don't know. Shit, I wish I had known that. I would have definitely bet this river. This would be an awesome spot to do this. I'm just not going to do it. It's a little ballsy. I don't think it's necessarily plus EV either. I think he has to fold almost everything if I do that though, honestly. Unless he just has exactly a jack or a flush, which is highly unlikely. I think he bets a flush draw a lot on the turn. Probably his jacks as well. I think I can just shove the fives here. Yeah, we're struggling to get good games tonight, which is really weird. I wouldn't expect that. I would expect the games to be like the best of the week almost right here, except for maybe Saturday night or Friday night. I'm going to ship the king queen over the limp. I think in this dynamic it's fine. Kind of an awkward hand to ISO, because you're going to have a really low SPR and just be forced to put it in on a ton of hands. Like even with just overs, you would be forced to put it in a lot there. We need to connect. We don't. So we get a really bad call by deuces here, which is good. We like that, because I think our range there just has him absolutely smashed. It includes all our big aces, ace-10s, king-queens, and all pairs. So we're probably like 55-60% equity against that hand with our entire range. He just lost money, we got money. We gained money. This might be one of these bet, and obviously just get it in, or check back turns and induce rivers. Guess I'll have to take this seat now. Oh, that sucks. I think this can be good. We had a huge multi-way pot with a suited ace. Well, not a huge multi-way pot, but a multi-way pot of more than just 3 people, perhaps. Small suited aces like this do play pretty well in multi-way pots, 3 or 4-handed pots. You get dominating flush draws and things like that. This guy's straights with the wheel. 2 pairs, top pairs. Lots of stuff can happen. Ace-6 offsuit would be pretty crappy. Ace-5 would be slightly less crappy, but still crappy. It's the suitedness that really makes this hand. And the fact that we have a poster. So he's got like a random hand here. So that means we could probably profitably c-bet any board due to the randomness. So wet boards won't really necessarily be wet against him. We can certainly consider that we have the best hand here. I mean, he certainly could have a 6. I think betting bigger is better than smaller, though. We don't want him to play machine us here. Maybe we should get some credit. We're under the gun. But he could have a 6, you know? It's very, very possible. Interesting. So he could. Maybe he woke up with a hand like 5s. I don't know. I think barreling off, though, is good. I don't think we have to barrel off big, though. This table's pretty lousy on the top right. It's not like we're going to bet shove here. We're going to bet. Our hand looks something like 9s, 10s, jacks maybe to him now. I guess we just got to give him credit. He's been passive over the first 10 hands. It's really weird, though. It's not the kind of board you'd think we would induce anything on, though, because it just looks like we're never folding there, I think, a lot of the time. So I think if we have 9s or 10s, we just have to call it off there. If you happen to have a 6, it's just a cooler. We have some back doors and 2 overs here. I think leading is good on this board. I think if we bet here, we're certainly just all we can credibly rep is a deuce. And it's gonna be hard to get him off of spade draws and maybe a hand like 4-6. So this might be a good spot. Let's just give up. I think he just calls us down a lot of the time with 7 or 5 too. Certainly there's a lot of hands in his random range there. If they're going to call the flop, they're not going to mind that turn so much. I think every turn card above a 7 we can barrel for sure there. Certainly any diamond. Maybe not an 8. Well, maybe an 8 would be okay. It's part of his range, but it's not the vast majority of it. I think there's more hand combinations of other things than that. Yeah, games are just not good tonight. Player hasn't played in 2 hands, so I think I'm going to 3x it over the dead money. Try and just win the blinds right now. This is my one obstacle here. Guy's pretty sticky-ish. Why I bet 3x instead of just min raise. Certainly wouldn't want to do that with a stronger hand.
Stocking stuffers, snacks while you shop, and more. It's safer than carrying cash. Plus, your account is continuously monitored for suspicious activity. Even if you lose your card, it keeps you protected, and you can replace your card right.
Yeah, it might be a good thing we're doing a short session tonight because of
Shop hassle-free this
quality of the games being so poor.
Visa debit card.
Just because your seat has a number doesn't mean you should be treated like one. From courteous cabin crew members who greet you, to authentic gourmet Japanese cuisine, and meticulous attention to detail. No matter who you are or where you sit, elevate your senses to new heights of luxury with A&A. Welcome to an experience that is in a class.
Let's try and afford. I think we can just bet a little on the bigger side, just in case he has some like ace high up clubs, or we could discourage maybe deuces or 4s or 5s sometimes with a 45-cent bet here, and get him off all of his hands that have a lot of equity like overs. Fortunately, he just ships, so we'll fold. We have the best hand here sometimes. This could actually be a really thin bet check call. Get min raised. I don't think he's ever raising a 5. Guess he certainly could do it with a king, but a lot of times this is just like a bluff or ace high. So what we can do is just call, and if it checks through, we can bet the river profitably, I think. I think this is a pretty scary call on the flop to him sometimes. Because all he's really repping here is a 5 when he bets. If he doesn't exactly have a 5, we pretty much have to call with all of our value hands. That's a really, really good card to check call with. In case he wants to go ahead and bluff the river now. Wow, he had a 6, a king. That's really strange that he would... I guess it makes sense though, maybe, in a slight way. He would do that. I'm glad the queen peeled because I was betting that river and he was not folding. I guess he just wanted to see where he was at, but trying to get somebody to... because I'm obviously not just going to re-raise with my 5 if he does that, so... Really, not a whole lot of purpose to that raise for him. Unless he's just pot controlling. Maybe he's afraid I have a worse, better king? I don't know. Maybe he just didn't know what the hell he was doing. I don't know. Just felt like min raising. Remember, there doesn't always have to be a purpose to things people do in this game. Gotta be careful not level yourself. Trying to think too deeply about hands. Most likely scenario is he just saw a king, was afraid of a 5, min raised, thinking that, I don't know what he's, well anyway, not thinking, let's put it that way. He just saw a king, he had a king, so he raised. A lot of the time, I think. Don't think we need deep analysis there. Get donk bet into, there's a lot of drawing hands and protecting hands that could be on this board, and we don't really have a lot of ways to improve, so I guess we can fold this part of our range, this hand in our range. I think there's a lot of hands that we could continue there with, so we don't necessarily need to with that one. Gotta balance it out by sometimes having a crappy hand to continue with there, but I don't know. Maybe king high is the wrong one. Maybe we'd rather have something like, I don't know, just 5 high and a backdoor flush draw or something. I don't know. Certainly better to be able to turn potentially 9 outs rather than just turn and have to hit a pair with dirty outs. So you have basically 2 cards you want to hit instead of a bunch that give you 9. So 1 of 10 cards. There's 10 good cards for you. It's better to bluff raise is what I'm saying than 2 good cards for you. Sometimes I could ship with only 20 big blinds here. Well, obviously not now. Well, yeah, I think we just have to give people credit when they're hijack versus, or cutoff versus hijack. It's a little too weak. I think 9s or 10s for sure would be close. These people look fairly aggressive here. I think I'm going to limp shove the ace-queen offsuit. Ah. I'm still going to do it if this guy ISOs. I only have 7 hands on him. Ba ba ba. So unless this guy connected in some way with a random hand, I expect just to win this pot. This guy's opening again. What was the result of that last hand? Was there a showdown? I wasn't watching. I guess we just have to give up now that this guy leads. We didn't have a showdown. Maybe these guys just have something going here. So we'll keep this in mind. If this happens like 3 times, we'll start putting it in light. Yeah, this might be a bad table. I probably should have just left. When you limp and don't get any more limpers. Bad sign. So ace king. This guy wasn't bluffing, but this guy continuing with king queen. Yeah, we definitely like this table. Or was it queen 8? Queen 8 suited. That's an aggressive call, that's for sure. We have to protect our 6 from good here almost always. And perhaps we could get somebody off 4s, 5s, deuces, something. Yeah, we pick up some equity. Yeah, do we barrel? I think with 2 callers we just check. I think they're going to play pretty straightforward here. So we can realize some equity by checking. We might have the right price here. Yeah, we have the right price here. It's a dirty straight draw, but it's unlikely somebody turned a flush draw. So I think with 5, we need like 4 to 1 here, and we have 5 to 1. It was just a straightforward call. And do we just bet or do we check raise? I think we just have to go for some value here. I think so often it's just going to check through here. I think like 45 cents. You have to get some more money in the pot. You can't chance at checking down. This is kind of one of the bad things about. So this guy could definitely have 4-7. I guess we just have to call this. That would make sense with his bet on the turn. If that is the case, this is a really shitty river. I guess we could ship this and maybe get called by a set. I guess he would have to call with a set, right? But does he just insta-min raise with 4-7? How many 4-7s can he have, right? I was in the big blind, he limped. He's 33-17. I think this is just a set or pocket 4s. I think we have to put it in here for value. Yeah, he just has a 4. Queen 4, huh? You limped Queen 4. 43-14. Now it's 43-14. He wasn't that before. Well. Sorry about that. Mega sneeze. Alright, so we'll lead with the top pair. There's some dynamics we could just ship it here. I mean, we're getting such a damn good price for a three-way all-in with Jack with a really good hand. This guy certainly can just have Ace-King as a large part of his range. And this guy's certainly calling if we jam and he calls. I think it's a little bit play machiney though. I think we only have 20 cents involved in the pot. I just don't know if we're going to lose less than 20 cents by shoving. I think we need some kind of fold equity here. It's probably okay. We're only going to lose like 30-40 cents, but we're only losing 20 by folding, so we'll just fold there. I think it's fine. We're not deep enough to call. If we had like $5, we could call. We'll just preserve, conserve. And these games are lousy today. This table's good, but that's the only one really. This one's got a fish two to my left, but overall, I mean, look at this table. Horrible.
There are many ways to create your own website.
I'm such a whiner, complaining about the quality of the games, but this is 10 and L on a Sunday. It's ridiculous. Oh, what's going on? What's the world coming to? So I've got to get off here in 10 minutes. It actually is bedtime for my kids in 10 minutes. And I have to throw some dinner together. So I'll get an hour session today. I always like to get two, but you know, it's probably for the best. I mean, look at the games. I probably would be quitting anyway. This is pretty ridiculous. Might be the worst I've seen, because we've had some bad starts to sessions as far as finding tables. But usually we've found some good ones by the end. It's usually just an anomaly when we're not having good tables, you know, like we're just happen to pick the 4 worst tables available, because that's all that was up. I think I'm going to sit this 9-handed table. It looks promising. There's only 3 people seated at it, and it's very high VPIP, and it's been around a few minutes. So we're going to give it a shot. Let's see. Oh yeah, this looks good. We'll sit here. I think we can bet the 10 high board. This is one of the lower c-bet success boards, actually, 10 highs. With this guy seated here that's not playing any hands, I think we can consider we're on the button. And of course he chooses this hand to play, his first one. So we got to consider this is a really strong range right here. We got to play accordingly. It does include a lot of big cards though, so if we have a low board, I think that's much better to c-bet. So I think this is a good board to c-bet. Unless they have pairs. If they have big cards, they're probably just going to give up here. I think like 35-40 cent bet will probably do the trick here quite often. It looks like a committing bet for us, so. What happened here? Oh, forgot about that. It's going to bet 40 cents. It's a pretty bummer call. I just think he's got like 7s here a lot. 6s. And I guess we could rep some turn cards, but we're kind of shallow. I think if a King, Queen, or Jack peels and we shove, he's just going to snap us off with 7s. The only hand he could probably fold would be like 5s. I mean, an ace. So I think at Jack, I'm just going to have to check fold. He just happened to have the pairs part of his range. So we're just going to give up. It could also be a trap. You know, he's pretty tight. I could definitely see him having like Jacks plus there. 10s plus. We'll be glad to get off of this table. Well, this guy's 37-10. Maybe we'll stay. He has 6 aggression factor, however. I'm not sure whether that's just because he is donk betting a lot. Wow, why couldn't we get that last hand, right? Get a 4? Did we have 4-5? I think we had 4-5, right? Or was it 3-4? I can't remember. Did we have a Got a shot here. Yeah, we'll just check fold this. We're gonna check fold this one. It's four-way. I'm just not a big fan. Four-way pots. Airball bluffing. I'm not gonna lead that. Limp that. I think we'll just ISO this. Not a fan of raising with weak aces, like I said, but I think blind versus blind it's fine. Is a 9 of hearts gonna take it down? This out of the way. Hold that. Raise that. Lead that. Definitely worse hands can call. Continue. We've been getting raised a lot though lately. I'm getting floated like on every hand. Even though I get 2 callers, I think we still have the best hand here fairly often, and we'll get a lot of folds on the turn. I don't think we can c-bet this board. That's a pretty miserable river card. I think we just have to give up now. I guess we could bet to try and get him off a 9, but whatever. I think he sometimes has a 4 that'll check back as well and we'll be good. It's really awkward to ISO here because of our stack size, so it's either a shove or fold, and I think he just calls us way too wide. I think I'd rather peel and try and hit something, or just check back. I'm just going to ship the ace-queen suited up here. What do you think, just overbet shove? Maybe get a 5 or diamond draw or something like that to call. Oh, we get it in extremely good, and he does hero call us off with a 5 for the overbet, which I can't blame him for doing that. It doesn't look like we could possibly have top pair by overbetting like that. So he thinks he maybe was trapping with a second pair. He was obviously trapping pre-flop with his ace-5, so once he traps with ace-5 and hits something, he probably just felt like he had to continue. He was probably disappointed that I didn't shove. He said, good hand, LOL. Just didn't want to fold, yeah. I gave him a smiley face. So hopefully he traps with a similar hand this hand, and I can just shove. Now this guy is 38-9. However, he has stolen now 4 out of 8. I just don't know what positions he's stealing from, but I think 20 big blinds has got to go in here. And he only has actually he only has 12 big blinds, so oops, that's not good. Hopefully this is ace, king, queen, jack, not the big pair. Ouch. Whoa, can we hold? Can we hold? Yes, we can hold. Thank you. We'll take some run good, as if we hadn't had enough of that already. That's pretty sweet. I just wanted to win against this guy. We were basically free rolling as long as this guy didn't hit an ace or king. Got min raises. I'm on a button with ace 8 suited. I guess I'll just avoid that spot. I can limp this 15 big blinds, can I? Guy's pretty aggressive. I don't have anybody else behind me though. This guy's really aggressive. What do you think? Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. I probably should have raised. This guy's pretty damn aggro, so maybe sometimes he'll raise here. I mean, he's possibly got a queen here, but whatever. I think it's pretty easy give up spot if he ever raises at any point. I think a pretty small bet is good here. He could definitely have like a flush draw or like king 10 or something, but yes, I think we just have to give up here. This sucks. I mean, it's probably maybe a blessing in disguise. I mean, we raised there and he's probably continuing. He's a 60-30, so maybe we lose the same amount or the minimum there. I don't know. He's 9 aggression too, so can he really rep an ace? So it's either a queen or nothing. Maybe that's a call. Maybe that's a just get it in spot. I probably should have thought that one through. Does he really raise the turn with a queen? I probably should have just put it in there. That looked like a... Yeah, he's really polarized there. That was a bad fold. Yeah, I should have stuck the rest in. That was a little I was a little quick on that fold trigger. Oh well. That's the trouble you can get in by limping. So with that bad play, I'm gonna start sitting out. Sit out here, here. We're gonna definitely bet small here. This guy has shown a tendency to float. I want to keep him in the hand with some kind of small pair. Maybe some ace highs, got shots. I think we can get some value from this again. And if everything bricks, I think we can check call. Could very well have the nuts here as well. Ouch, yep. Flop 2 pair. That's amazing that he didn't raise that flop. That's really bad luck. He should be raising that flop every time. Well, maybe he wanted to save for an out 2 with his vulnerable 2 pair. I don't know. Maybe not so bad. We'll get off of that one. Something tells me we're down today. That's okay. We can't win them all, right? And the games are really terrible too, so... Okay, we're not flopping anything either. You know, it's been kind of one of those bleh. The only thing that really went well for us today is we out-flopped somebody with 6s, you know? Off the set. Everything else, we lost our 1 flip, right? And we got raised a lot, donk bet into, didn't really get very many good runouts. The time we did hit a straight, we were up against the same straight. It's kind of a blah session, you know, so if we're just down a little bit, it's going to be a big victory. This guy's kind of stationy. Actually, like a big bet fold here. Just bomb it. And discourage any kind of play machine crap. And just to find where we're at right now. I mean, obviously we just have a gut shot, but our 8's probably good, and we just don't want to get floated by like ace high. You know, that would be really bad. Let's just win it right now, if we're going to win it. Thanks everybody that tuned in today and watched. Sorry again for the late start. Sorry it couldn't be a better session. Who knows, maybe we're up $10 and I just am completely misreading everything. I highly doubt it though, we didn't really win anything, did we? I think it would be kind of impossible for us to be up much. We did leave at $4, $5 a couple times I guess, but it's not going to make up for that lost flip. Probably. I'll sample, you know. Everything you do is part of the experience and part of getting better. If you can't grind your way through these tough sessions, you're in for a long, long career. Because you can get these kind of sessions day after day after day for long periods of time. We're actually really fortunate that we've ran as well as we have so far in this challenge. I could see us running just average and being at 50, 60 bucks right now, or running really poorly and being at $35. It's very possible that we could only be up $10 for this challenge right now. And it's also not out of the realm of possibility that we just bust our roll right off the bat. It's not likely, but it could have happened, you know? Yeah, well, look at all these people. So we're going to see a huge multi-way pot. There's a little bit over the top for us just to shove here. I hope to get called by like 10s, 9s, 8s, 7s, ace king, ace queen, ace jack, rather than try and play some huge multi-way pot out of position with just one pair. I actually kind of like doing this play at the end of sessions. I think it gets you a lot of loose calls, boosts your bankroll. This guy only has $1.50, so worst case scenario we lose $1.50, unless this guy wakes up with something. So yeah, we get like a huge weak call with queen 10 here, and we hold. So we boost our bankroll by another $1.50 in the blinds there. So, I mean, it's very likely that, I mean, if we just raise there, we're going to get queen high flop and a 4-way pot. Or was it king high? Can't remember. He hit a 10, right? He didn't hit a queen, or obviously we would have lost. Actually, we hit a set on a monotone board. I guess we wouldn't mind that flop so much. But yeah, I think with tons of fish behind you and it's good to over bet shove big pairs. Even ace king would be good there. Ace queen suited maybe, but maybe we're a little too early for that. But hands that are likely to be good against the majority of the calling ranges behind us. I mean, sometimes people are just going to wake up with queens, kings, or aces, and maybe we could have got away from that type of hand pre-flop, but it's highly unlikely. I think we were just late enough where it made it okay to do what we did. I think we were in the 6 max under the gun. And 10s, jacks are definitely plus EV to shove in that spot. So, the ability to get all your money in kind of makes that a fun play. Oh. Yep, 7:05. I'm late. Uh-oh. But I think people are taking baths, so it's not a big deal. Gotta go draft some naked kids. They're old enough to do that themselves, I'm just kidding. My youngest is 4. So she does good. She's definitely the most mature for her age of the bunch. Which would make sense, right? It's tough being the 3rd kid, I'm sure. Gotta be tough. Literally. Alright, so we'll leave this one. And we'll finish up here. So let's see how we did. 120, wait. We are actually up $2. I guess that last pot did it for us. We were going to be exactly break even, but that last fishy call put us over the top. So that's amazing to be up. We're up $2 and change. So now we're only $16 away from 50 and 0. That's a good session. So I got to run. Thanks everybody for tuning in that showed up. We'll do this again tomorrow for sure. And I'll go ahead and throw this on YouTube for anybody that just tuned in and maybe missed it, for you guys to see. We had a good session. We had really tough games. There weren't a whole lot of fish to be had. And we fought our way through it. We actually were up for the session. That's part of grinding, right? If your bad sessions are slight winners or slight losers or break even or whatever, yeah, you're doing good. So thanks again everybody for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a great week, and we'll talk to you then tomorrow. Thanks.